Confidence Network for the strong, not the weak.
When it come on, Rob?
Welcome to Joe Jackin on this beautiful Sunday evening. I am your boy Robert Leo Jr. And as always, from the south side of Chicago, Illinois, give it up for my main man, Martise TC was Senior. And down there, at the end of the bench, it's the big boy, the CEO. Give it up for HRap. Brian Williams. What's going on, man? Well, I forgot to say Joe Jackin in collaboration with the End of the Bench. I forgot to say that. I'm sorry.
What's good, man?
Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, man. I want to make sure that you go ahead and plug your network, man.
We'll do it at the end. We good, man. You just turned yourself to the side, though. You sideways, man.
Yeah, I don't know what Bob on.
He just froze up, man. It's all good. How you doing, TC? Till he get right. How you doing, good brother?
Come on, good, man. How you feeling, man?
Man, I can't complain, man. Can't complain. It's going down, you know. Everything, as they say, everything is everything.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to get this topic, get to talking, man. Y'all didn't call me on Friday, but we'll talk about it later.
Nobody called nobody.
I mean, I'll be waiting. Okay. I'll share from this point forward. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? What's wrong with Bob Internet, man?
He reconnected. He coming back in another.
Well, anyway, till you get back on, man. How you been doing, man? I've been watching your little show.
Yeah, man. I've been doing good, man. Doing good. Had a real good show. Real good brother on the show yesterday. Talk about health and men wellness. Putting our health first and ways to continue to enhance our lives. It was very informative. I ended up buying his book because I lost a lot of weight before. And I'm going to blame about 10% of it to COVID. The rest of it, I'm blaming on just me ruining my eating habits because I had become a strict vegetarian. And then I push meat and things back into my diet. And when I push meat and things back into my diet, it kind of blew me up again. So I'm going back. I'll probably go back to more of a Mediterranean diet, a pescatarian diet, and put myself in a situation to whereas I can lose a little bit of this extra weight, get my extra energy back. Now, it wasn't hard for me, man. I did it without even trying. The first time, I did it without even trying.
Okay.
I didn't even.
It was hard for me. You know,
Yeah, man.
I eat better. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the key to me.
I don't limit myself. I put myself in a box, so like, you know, I just know, like, I treat myself out on the weekend, and I go have me a steak, or I'll go do something like that. You know,
Like with me,
week I'll be up on a fish thing, salads.
Like with me, I cut it all out, man.
But man, we trying to wait on Bob. Man. Come on, those topics. Let's get this off the cut.
He got the topics.
What's going on with the internet?
Bob has the topics.
I want to know yours. Go ahead, because, you know, I want to know your opinion. You know, I want us to talk about this, so we'll bring it back up when decides to, you know, make his presence stuff. But, you know, we talked about the Sean Watson thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
My back in there? Yeah. Okay, I hear you. I had to connect my Wi-Fi. Evidently, my regular signal wasn't strong enough.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know, but I was just bringing up. I was bringing up about the Deshaun Watson thing. You know, we got a little bit more information. You know, I just want to know if y'all been following that.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to talk about today, since you put that up there, I wanted to continue the theme with some of the characteristics. We're just going to jump on the entertainment version of those 9 characteristics Nene Fuller was talking about white supremacy. So today we're going to just jump on entertainment in general. So you was talking about Deshaun Watson, but I also want to bring up DMX. We will start with DMX. First of all, you know, we lost legendary rapper DMX. If you hadn't heard, I know you got to be on the rock if you hadn't heard that by now. And I wanted to what I wanted to do is I want to dive into entertainment. Talking about movies, how has entertainment evolved, you know, from back then, you know, just the way we evaluate how it evolved, what type of impact, because we talked about this a few weeks ago, about the expectations and the responsibilities of entertainers, right? And the impact that they have on us as a society. So it's like the comedy presence doesn't ask permission to the influencer. It's just, it is what it is. They don't ask permission. The status and the stature from them being a position like that automatically has an impact on us. So we want to dive into that today. So like TC said, we talk about Deshaun Watson. So we want to talk about it from a broader standpoint called entertainment. And we want to keep that connected with the series we was talking about the many impacts of those characteristics that it has on us as a society. So I want to start with, and we also want to touch on stereotyping, and I want to touch on the Kurt Franklin concept, because we never really got to dive in at Kurt Franklin first time you brought it up, TC. I want to dive in. Just based off of, you know, about, you know, because we're on the theme of entertainment. So, you know, and that's what they are, you know, regardless of what they are, when they position like they're entertainers. So I want to start with DMX, and I want to hear y'all thoughts on DMX and the type of impact he had on y'all individually, if any.
DMX was a dope MC, man. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I can go. You know.
Go ahead, TC.
You know what I'm saying? He was. When we jump in and we doing it, I just feel like DMX is that dude to me, and more like music. And when you certain artists you connect with, like Scarface is what I connect with. You know, even though people better, but that's like one of my favorites. Like DMX in that category for me. So it's like he had a good blow on me when it comes to music. He was speaking strictly on the music and the same time because the man was cold as hell on that music. And after his style, energy he brought energy to the music, and that's why it made me feel a certain way, because it's like back then, going back when it really was cracking when we was younger, when it came out, DMX had you feeling like, man, dog, you aggressive, that can be music. So I think that DMX had an influence on a lot of people, just his energy, just the way he lyrically, of course, he could rap. A lot of people could rap. But now we can bring that energy. You felt them prayers. He really made you feel like he was a pure bull. Like you felt them parts. It's like I think even what he was going through, drugs, being tricked, got turned down, being tricked by somebody, got him doing drugs. His whole story. Right. So it's like, sorry, man, it fits him. So I give him respect to even, man. I give him respect, man. I give my utmost respect. For real.
That's scary though, man. Like somebody in your safe space hand you something that's regular, you know, like, hey, just hit this, man, you know, or drink this, you know what I mean? And then they'll mess around and put something in there that can change your whole life. You know what I'm saying? For real, you know, and that's kind of the safe space where they just ha and all this stuff. Oh, look at him, boy, you know, but it can change your whole life, you know. Go ahead, Big D.
Oh man, like I said, man, I thought DMX was a dope MC. He brought his personality to the mic, and he let people know he didn't hide who he was. He let people know who he was. He made people feel comfortable being themselves. He talked about the streets. He talked about darkness in his life. He did what Corey Holcomb speaks about a lot as a comedian. Corey speaks about consistently to be the best comedian, you should let people know who you are. Speak your truth. DMX did that, and he wasn't ashamed. He wasn't apologetic, and he just shows you that instead of judging people on what they look like and how they conduct themselves, judge people on what comes out of their mouths and things of that nature, because DMX gave a lot of precautionary tales. I mean, this first album is it's dark and hell is hot. You can listen to Get At Me Dog, which was a diss track to K Solo, and be like, oh man, see, he's negative. But DMX was a powerful individual. I heard him do spoken word. I used to listen to his music, and he just talked about everyday life. And the last thing I saw was he was on Drink Champs with my man Noriega from Capone and Noriega, and he used to consistently say profound things. Two of the things that I remember the most is when he was saying, trust people to be who they are. They're going to be who they are. Liars will be liars, thieves will be thieves, but just identify who they are. And he says it takes too much energy not to be trusting people. And the other thing he said was when Prince pulled him to the side. He said Prince pulled him to the side at this second album and told him about the record industry. Sat him down for an hour and talked to him about the record industry. And he made this statement to me that's profound. He said, yeah, he sat me down and slapped me upside the head. And then Nori was like in a good way. He said, no, he was like a grandfather. He said, he was like my grandfather, slapped me upside the head. He said, and then he was like in a good way. He said, no, it ain't no bad way for your grandfather to slap you upside your head because he caring about you. He giving you the information. And it's those kind of things that if you just looked at him or looked at some of his more popular songs, you'll be like, hey, man, he's a little too this and he's a little too that. But when you look at him and listen to what he said, I saw him dancing at a Greek wedding, at an Iranian wedding last week, hugging all the rappers in the whole world, communicating with fans. You got to love DMX, man. And he is exactly what the rap game is missing. Instead of trying to be the next hot, I tweeted that yesterday. Instead of trying to be the hottest rapper, why don't you try to be the next DMX?
And what's funny is I watched the verses, the Snoop Dogg and DMX verses. I watched it the other day, and I didn't realize how many hits that Snoop had. Like Snoop had some hits, man. Like that's like it was cracking. Cause it didn't even, I'm just being honest. I mean, I know they was Snoop was smooth the way he turned it into fun. The way Snoop did it. He was like, man, we celebrate each other. We just celebrate each other. I know it's a verses, but they was doing it the way the verses was supposed to be done, But one of the things that I noticed is that, just being comfortable in your own skin. And that goes to a point you made a few years ago, TC. You made it a few years ago. Like, man, Lil Wayne wasn't about to be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we expect out of some of these people who come through the ranks. Future wasn't fit to be a dentist. You know what I'm saying? People in the hip-hop world, some of these people who end up gravitating and finding their voice. And that's one thing that we up against sometimes is, I think, it's black men. I'm going to say black men specifically. We are always made to choose how our morals are shaped once we find our voice. And when we find our voice, we may find our voice in some atmospheres and some territories that don't go with some of the established organized religion. And so, when you got a generation of cats that is trying to find a way to, make legal money, the DMX was, man, he let you know, man, I'm a stick-up kid, flat out. I'll stick you up, right? But then when you bring the raw truth to what that is over to a avenue that can give you legal money, they still end up criticizing, the influence of the rap game, the influence of that expression. And I'm just curious to know what y'all think about the impact that hip-hop or rap music, I'm just talking about rap music, entertainment specifically today. What do y'all think impact and the responsibilities is for hip hop artists, and and how they should filter, or shouldn't they filter what they say, or does it change? Them saying their voice to the world if they get conscious of filtering.
Well, me personally, I don't think the hip hop community has anything to be filtered from or should change anything. What needs to be changed is the way it's disseminated throughout the United States of America and throughout the world. They take the most negative images possible and put them in front of the world as if that's the only thing available. It would be just like if we only saw pornography. If you only put pornography on TV, you would be Robert De Niro, he's just a violent guy. And you don't hear that. But you see rated G movies, you see rated PG movies, you see rated R movies, you see PG-13, rated R, and of course it's pornography. If they disseminated hip-hop music that way, it would be the same. There's people that don't think it's certain artists out here making music, and they making music every year, quality music, bangers, and nobody's even knowing that they still making music. When you're doing things like that, there's a specific plan to corrupt things. And if you got this specific plan to corrupt things, you're having issues. The issue isn't with the art, it's with the representation of the art. So if you want to BS and pretend that these things aren't real, that these are the only things that you want to see, then of course hip hop looks like the worst possible entity in the world. But if you want to present the hip hop in its entirety, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Jay-Z, DMX, Will Smith, Biz Markie, and so forth, Rakim, if you want to include all these people, then yeah, hip hop is dope. But when you only show Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion grinding on stage, it's a problem, because it's this sister by the name of Rhapsody who is cold-blooded. She is one of the best rappers, period. But most people don't even know she exists. She has this entire album dedicated to all the powerful women, all the powerful black women in the history of America. Most people don't know that album exists, but you know WAP, and you know the other Cardi, what is it? WAP, and it's a song that starts off, broke niggas don't need to get no pussy. It's stupid. If you only gonna show that, then hip hop is fucked up, and it's gonna impact you. But again, we see Ice Cube. We saw Ice Cube in Boys in the Hood. We saw him in Higher Learning, and we also saw him in How Much Time Is It Before We Get Home. If you only show him at Boys in the Hood, you think Ice Cube is a thug and a drug dealer. But when you see him in other aspects, you see him in other shit.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, are we there yet? You know. Yeah. But so you have to show the entire world of hip hop. If you only show a segment of hip hop, then it's a problem.
Go ahead, T. You got something on it?
I agree exactly. I agree with Brian. I agree with what he's saying. I agree exactly his point when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to rap. It's like it's obvious why they do it like they do it, because it's an industry basically about us. So we got all these things, but I feel music is like making movies. It's just it's entertainment. It's a form of entertainment. It has the flaws, just like a movie has its flaws. You can't act like dope boys ain't having influence on people. You can't act like old dog ain't have no influence on people, but you also can't act like Scarface the movie didn't have no influence on people. You know what I'm saying? Designed to appease to people's emotions. But they didn't get judged based on what they saying, I guess, because I guess you both mean you say. I feel just like the script to me. But ain't rapping, this thing for entertainment ain't enough. So I don't feel it's supposed to be taken as serious word you shouldn't rap like this, you shouldn't call women this. But then we watch movies we like, and they call women bitches. My fault. They call women things and all kind of stuff in these movies that we actually like. So I never thought there was a better way to how to attack rappers for what they saying. I just like they are supposed to be pastors their story from where they came. You didn't come from that, then of course you could judge it, don't like it, or say what you want to say. But they just speaking from where they came from. And I don't feel nothing wrong with that. I feel it does have influence. And I think the big thing about DMX, you know, that I'm going to keep 100 with, it's a message in that. You know? These body poppers and drug users and doing this stuff in this music, you know, it has a toll on your body. You know, so I hope that we also we celebrate the music but we also see the message. I see the drugs out and the effect they have on our body. And all the music, like a lot of people now, these rappers, you know, they talking about doing the drugs. You know, it's different. Right. When we grew up, you know, they talked about some beer, a 40, a joint, some gin and juice. But I ain't know it's got to be some early part say, nobody said, let's go get high, y'all. But now you hear Future say, man, that's something, let's do some perks, let's go do it, let's go. And a whole different atmosphere now, you know? And the fact of that, you know, nothing. Going through a lot of things, you know. But of course, what they said out here about his death, it was drug related, you know. Overdose is what they saying. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what they put out in the report about people like. Yeah, but so we also need to understand the effects of doing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead. Finish your point.
No, anyway, go ahead. We also need to bring that awareness out too. You know, it's not diminishing him in no kind of way, but it is what it is. These young cats coming out 21, 22, talking about all these perks and pills and mollies and things they putting in their body. They need to understand the effects gonna have on you down the line. And I think that should be talked about too in the when we bring up DMX, because he hitting on both spectrums to me. You should see damn drugs. You know, so I just hope that point needs to be put out there.
The point about marketing, like when you think about marketing, I don't think a lot of the points that they make against the hip hop community should be brought up at all, because you know they shape and market this thing in a way that, you know, so in order for somebody else to benefit from it. So I don't even think that's an issue. I don't even think that's really an issue. I think they pick and choose. You know, when I say they, because I really hate the word they, but I mean when people are looking at what you do, your expressions, what you do, and they can capitalize on it, they pick and choose what they gonna put in front. You know what I mean? In order to capitalize, they not stopping. They got a problem with your expression. If they got a problem with your expression when they can't capitalize. Same way they had a problem with marijuana for so many years until they figured out how to capitalize. You know what I mean? So that's the name of the game. The name of the game is how do you position yourself to capitalize on someone else's expression, somebody else's talent, and that's going to determine whether or not it's a problem. That's what I'm saying. If you can't, you know, it's abnormal, or if you can't capitalize on it, that's abnormal. You know what I mean? So I don't think that, you know, look, it gets worse and worse. It gets deeper and deeper as the nation begins to what you call moralistically become just straight individual or independent. Everybody's becoming to be their own liberated captive, you know? And so there is no camaraderie of morality, right? So, but you got to try to make platforms where you can capitalize off of that lack of moral code, you know, unified moral code in society. That's what the rap game is. That's what entertainment is. You can literally you got a platform that you literally can filter people through and see what sticks and what don't, what creates the buzz. You know, you see people on video, you watch YouTube videos and somebody be like, you know, man, I got 35,000 likes. You know, that's what everybody looking for. Following who? Like who got the buzz? Who got the juice? You know what I mean? And I think that's what entertainment creates. It creates a way we can identify who got the juice. Yeah? You You know what I mean? Who got the juice? Man, ain't nobody. I'm not gonna be firing HRap, man. HRap, man. You know, it's one of the deepest brothers I know, man. But ain't nobody listening to him, man. I'm gonna go listen to TC, man. TC talking about raping, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's funny, boy. There's 50,000 people over there listening to HRap, and it ain't nothing we can do about it. I ain't crying about it. You know what I mean? That's how it is. That's the name of the game. That's what entertainment shows. You know, it shows that we clout chasers. We clout chasers, man. You know, I mean, you know, slap me later, y'all. You know, because I ain't trying to spit on DMX grave. DMX ain't no dude that you know I'm gonna come into the crib like you know some of these little Gene Vine, them little dudes. There ain't some dudes I want to show up and you know talk about dating my daughter. Like, you know, I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? Like, I can admire them from afar. You know, some ways I can admire them from afar. But these ain't the type of cats. You know, and I'm only specifically saying them. I'm not. I can zoom in on Ozzy Osbourne. You know what I'm saying? I can zoom in on a whole lot of things. You know, I got a very small window of who I think should be in my personal circle, personally, based off of regardless of what they're doing, whether I respect it or not. But we seem to be clout chasers in a different way that's interweaved in our cultural observations and our cultural way about us. And I'm just curious to know, does competition have anything to do with that? Does natural competition or the emulated competition, even if it's not us as a people, does competition have anything to do with what is becoming of how people use their influence, and it does have a positive or negative impact on us, the natural nature to compete?
I think it has nothing to do with competition. I think it has to do with the programming. We're being programmed by our phones. We're being programmed by the television. We're being programmed by the radio. We're being programmed, and that's what people overlook. If you program somebody, they're gonna react the way you want to act. If all you show me is one thing, that's what I think is acceptable. If everything on the radio is money, cash, hoes, these dudes ain't shit. Wait, I'm gonna run my lick and all this here. Then that's what people say. Hey, that's the cultural norm. That's the way we are supposed to perform. That's what is expected. And then when you say no, it ain't, then well, how's he rich because of this? Because that's the way they want you to act. Because it is a predatorial environment that they've set out there for young folks. And if you continue to put that out there, how you gonna ask somebody to act differently? You're gonna make this guy the most popular rapper. You're gonna make him the most played song on the radio, and expect people listen to what he's saying, look at what he got, and then you expect people to do something different. No, that's impossible. That's impossible. Just like at one point, all we saw in the 60s and the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, all you saw was Black Power. 1969, James Brown comes out with a song, "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." The Black Panthers on TV every day. They making things happen. So, you know, the news showing black people the Black Panthers. The news showing black people, they dissing them, but at the same time, they showing these brothers create the WIC program, feeding young people every morning. They walking around, the cops won't mess with them. You getting harassed by the fucking police. So, wait a minute. Hell yeah, I'm down. And then all of a sudden, what happened after Black Panthers? They made pimps cool. So everybody wanted to be a pimp. 1983, 10 years later, they made Scarface cool. Everybody wanted to be a dope dealer. So what would happen if they made reading books cool, informing yourself cool, education cool? Then everybody would go that way. It is called programming for a reason. They program the populace to do what they want them to do. Because as I stated a second ago, that I can give you 20, 30 rappers off the top of my head. Just two. Pharoah Monch, Master Ace. Pharoah Monch did an album called Post-Traumatic Stress Syndrome. He talked about depression. He talked about losing your job. He talked about military people coming home being fucked up. He talked about how fucked it up it is in the hood and the bullshit we eat. You ain't heard one of those songs in rotation. Master Ace did an album about his life and how he came up through all the bullshit in the hood and still went to college and graduated. You ain't heard one of those songs, but you definitely heard cooking in the house with the AK-47, the Migos and Bad and Bougie. You heard all that bullshit, but you didn't hear Master Ace and Pharoah Monch. These dudes are two of the most proficient rappers in the history of the game. The dudes that we hear all the time on the radio, they love those guys. It's a common slogan in the hip hop community. Your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Master Ace and Pharoah Monch are those guys. But you don't see Master Ace and Pharoah Monch. They're not programmed to you. The quick fast ain't there. One more thing before I give the mic to TC. It's even in television programming. When you see white people on TV, they living way up here. The king, look at the King of Queens. He's a UPS driver, and his wife is a legal secretary. They got a house. They take care of her father. And it ain't nothing wrong with being a UPS driver and a secretary. Black TV is good times. Florida ain't got no job. James working 19 motherfucking jobs, struggling, head napping, and all fucked up. What does that tell you? And then it don't make it cool to be a regular guy. You either have to be Bill Cliff Huxtable or Fred Sanford. And why is that? It's programming. Period. If you
what I was gonna say though is you said that it ain't got nothing to do with competition, but the first thing you named after that was money, cash, and hoes. That was the first thing you named after that. When you name those things right there, that immediately zoomed me in on competition. Because when I was telling y'all earlier, I listened to the versus battle between DMX and Snoop, and what I liked about what Snoop did, Snoop brought the level of the verses. The word verses mean I'm against you. That means I'm versus you. It ain't, by default, that's what the word means. So competition, the reason why I'm asking is because I think this is one of the areas that's not highlighted enough about the natural nature of competition, the natural nature of wanting to be. Like, we always got to ask. We can't even watch sports. Like, who was better? Kobe or Mike? Why do we, why can't we just enjoy Kobe in this generation and Mike in that generation? Why, if you got a Mustang, Brian, you pull up on me at a red light and I got a camera. Why we got to race? Why we got to race? Why we in the light like hitting the gas? Why we got to race? You know what I mean? So my point is, why can't we just nod? Be like, dude, that's nice. Dude, that's nice Camaro, thing. We both chill out. I might let you chill out first. Why we got to race though? You know what I'm saying? So my point, I don't know how natural that is or not. You said programming, I get it. When we're talking about the things, we're talking about money, cash, women, and the advantages, the options to come from that. We turn those other stuff.
He didn't say women. He said hoe. He said hoe. Okay. You know what I'm saying? All right. But my point is, hoe is not a woman. You see one as a female. Okay.
I agree with TC.
Go ahead. They was not talking about no woman. They was talking about a female. They were talking about All right, go ahead.
But doesn't that turn that into a different type of competition? If you compete for the hoes over women, it's a different type of competition. You know what I'm saying? Ain't it? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody seems to understand it. That's
one gang hoe. That's it. We don't put no clear hustle. Ain't no clear hustle, man.
Go ahead, man. I took some of your airtime.
Hey, let me get on my other. Hey, hold on, y'all. Y'all finish real quick. I'm finna switch.
Okay. All right, but check this out though. All right. Well, we can jump back.
I'm gonna dip back in.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, we looking for you. But anyway, the point I'm making, Brian, I think we undervalue the concept of competition and the competition that started from resources and our makeup. I think we undervaluing how that has emulated into our characteristic makeup in America. I think we undervaluing. I think we undervalue that to me. And if we don't start really zooming in on the concept of competition, the concept of versus, being versus each other, I think we're failing to realize we'll start calling it portrayal. But I think it goes deeper than just portrayal. I think it's natural to be competitive. I think it's natural, but I don't know. But that's why I agree with you at saying that that's when the marketing and how we pitch everything fall in place second. So I don't want to hear what your take is.
But look, at the end of the day, competition is the name of the game. No matter what you're doing, I take everything back to nature. An apex predator, a lion, a tiger, or whatever you. 1 second. A lion, a tiger, a eagle, or whatever. They are apex predators. They are out there taking, as Chris Rock said, the big piece of chicken. Right. They out there to get the biggest game, and then the other predators, the hyenas and other animals, the vultures and things, they come after the lions, have gotten what they take. They're competing. The problem isn't competing, it's what you're competing for. Like, I'll use Snoop Dogg. Again, to use Snoop Dogg was a negative, quote-unquote, negative image maker. That's what the world said. But Snoop Dogg, one of his first songs, y'all mentioned it, Gin and Juice. People will say that's a negative song. It starts off, it's so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D-O double G, and he go on and talks about the treacherous life that he lives. And instead of other people saying, you know what, allow me to talk about what I'm talking about, they took all the negativity that they showed to Snoop and promoted that. So now people are acting like that to try to get that piece of meat instead of being an individual and getting what they gonna get. See, that's the problem. We don't promote individuality anymore in this competition. As I stated, the lions, the female lions, swoop down on a Cape Buffalo. Now, what the hell two sparrows look like swooping down on the Cape Buffalo? It makes no sense. Like your analogy. You pull up, I'm in the Camaro, and you pull up in the Camry. If you rev your engine, you look like a damn fool. But we teach people to rev your engine next to the Camaro. Now, if a Camaro and a Monster 300 pull up next to each other, it's time to rev engines. It's time for a little competition because now it is a competition. But if you are a fucking Volkswagen Beetle pulling up to a Camaro, put your car in neutral, vroom, vroom, knock it off. But that's the problem. Competition is never a problem. Nature is about competition. But when you teach everybody to compete for the same thing, that's the problem. Because now I don't want to be a saxophone player. I don't want to be a trumpet player, a piano player. I want to be this because that's what's gonna get me money. And then what are we competing for? If you notice, again, going back to nature, animals compete to eat. Animals compete to live. They don't compete to dominate. So if TC has $100 million in his bank, but I got a cool crib and I got a cool ride and I got a cool job, I don't need to quit my job to be what TC is. I could just be happy being what HRap is. And that's the problem because it's not competition is natural. What you're competing for, that's where the programming comes in at. Because they teach you it's not cool to be a garbage man. It's not cool to be a mailman with a nice house and a nice family. It's only good when you have access. And when you if you ain't living like Dr. Dre, you ain't living right. If you ain't paying, I got a homeboy, and then I'm going to be quiet again. I got a homeboy.
Keep talking, man.
I got a homeboy. No, TC came back. He ain't come back. TC didn't come back to just watch. I got a homeboy, one of the best quality individuals I know. And one night, he was telling me about, he was sitting next to my son. I ain't gonna tell you where he was because then he'll know I'm talking about him. Me and my son sitting there listening to him and his crew talk about their night out. And they spent $1,800 in one night at a club. I said, well, so what happened? He was like, yeah, we had 4 bottles and some strawberries. I was like, with the Magnums? He was like, no, some Fifths, which was $200 a fifth. I said, hold it. You pay $200 a fifth for the same $32 fifths that we getting at the store? Yeah, and then he literally said, because I got different nicknames in the course of where I live, where I'm standing. He was like, I don't want to force my lifestyle on you. And even my young teenage son was like, on the way home, he was like, Pop, I like dude, but he sound like a damn fool. My son wasn't programmed. My man on the other side was programmed into believing spending $1,800 at a nightclub is the thing to do. When me, Rob, and TC can meet up in TC backyard, have that exact same fifth, go get some strawberries, some oranges, and everything else, and have the same good time. Because here's the sad part. None of them picked up any women at this club, so y'all spent that money to impress women that y'all didn't even approach. It's the programming versus...
You gotta understand the game. First of all, that's the nightclub. They gotta make their money, so of course they're gonna charge more. But the real thing, when they say, it's like, I'm listening to y'all, I'm being quiet, I just gotta hear what y'all saying so I can really come back to, have this conversation. Now, when it comes to rappers, or when it comes to people making money, and people say, like, this rapper rap like this, like the point you was making about Pheromones and Master Ace. And then you got other rappers talking like the other rappers talk. But it's like, and then people say, you gotta do what's best, it ain't for money, man. People do it for money, but then look at reality. Like, we go to these jobs. There's things they be doing in these jobs that ain't right. There's things they ask us and stuff that we really don't want to do, but we do it to make some money. When it's all said and done. So if they rapping and saying certain things and doing like whatever version they decide to be, the end result is they ain't doing no different than you and me. Some people work as police officers. They know the system ain't right, but they gotta get their money. So if a rapper decides to whatever vibe he want to put out, whether it's positive, whether it's street talk, whether it's trap music, it's still, to me, it's all entertainment. And I just don't agree with picking, like, trying to make these brothers feel like what they saying got to be positive. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got positive rappers. So, like, in some movies, like you broke down earlier, you got rated R, you got porno, you got PG-13, PG, G for the kids. You got different categories of entertainment when it comes to movies. And without them labeling it like that because of marketing, they want to keep hip-hop or rap music negative, you got different forms of artists. You got Drakes, you got Futures, you got Jay-Z, you can go all the way down to, you got the dude from Chicago, we ran the skateboards, Ruby Fiasco. You got all different types of rappers. So you can pick the rapper that goes with you. The people that like the positive rappers, they gotta follow it. But it's not as prevalent, of course, because of marketing of like the other rappers. So I feel like you gotta trust them what you want to listen to. It's not like all rap music the same. So I don't feel like why rap music, not saying we doing in this debate or this conversation, but why is always certain attack on what they say when you can go to somebody else and listen to somebody else. They're not saying none of that because it's other rappers. So
hold on, one second. I think you misunderstood what I was saying. I said...
I wasn't referring to you. I was saying in general. I wasn't going off your speech.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is that what he did? A speech? Is that what he did? A speech?
Well, I thought everything we do. Okay, what's the word I'm supposed to use, man? But you know.
Obviously.
No, I wasn't about what you were saying, Brian. I I'm just speaking like in a general when it comes to having rap music being looked at, how it gets looked at.
But
Like
see, I don't have. But I again, when I was saying what I was saying, I don't have an issue with any of it. I'm a hip hop junkie.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you do. I'm not even attacking how you feel. I'm
Oh.
saying how when they talk about rap music in a whole, it's negative. And all I'm saying is it's no different than any entertainment. You can pick one genre of movies and just destroy entertainment. If we just focus on porno, look what they doing to this, this is not morally right, making these girls do this for money. They just doing this because they're power over them and they don't really want to do this, but they gotta do and they exploit them when they need money. And then that's the only genre of that entertainment circle that you talk about. The entertainment will look bogus. But you don't do that. But in rap music, they use the rappers that's trapping, who's making trap music, or they use rappers that street rappers and make that rap. So it's all just rap. And to me, that bogus as hell because you got different artists. So you can, but they pick and choose the ones they want, depends on how they want the world, the masses, what they want to put out there about a certain group. And since it's basically our people making rap music, they put all the emphasis on like the hottest artists, what they talking about. But pornos make a lot of movies, money too. Especially in pandemic, man. Pornos, man, there wasn't nobody going to the theater. They watching that porn though. They making a lot of money. But why the masses ain't focused on that? They separate it. It's still entertainment, but they separate that. If you old enough, you want to get it in, you go listen to this. So if you a hood dude, you black, and you smoking in your car with your 415s, you go bump you some Future now. Now, if you want to sit in and try your kids and some real stuff, you want to talk about the positive stuff, you go listen to this. That's how rap is. That's how rap is. You got a version. If you want to feel some freaky stuff, you can listen to dudes. Dudes all he talking about. If you want to feel if you mad at somebody and you want to get at them, it's a category of music that gets you in that mode. If you want to watch some stuff with your kids, you throw on Lion King. You chilling with your boys, you throw on this. Now, if you want some free stuff, you gonna put on a porn. All that entertainment. Why they don't? There's different versions of entertainment, but the masses don't put out there like that because the industry they making the money. But see, like I told Bob years ago, all you gotta do in the hood is get a computer and a beat machine, and if he talented and people gonna get that music, then he gonna make you some money, and they only gonna get a little piece, and that brother gonna get it all. Cause these little dudes know now, I do it myself. I ain't signed to these labels. So if Shorty only sold 100,000 records, the label will kick you off. That ain't no album sales. But if you sold 100,000 records by yourself, that's $1 million for you though. But in the label, that's not good enough. So these little cats figured it out. I'll sell 50,000 units out here. I made me 500,000. So these little cats figured it out and taking these people money out. Now they ain't reaching because they not jumping on these deals and these labels no more because they be raping them. So now they found a way to make money through this streaming, but they don't need none of that. So now they got to find a way to either stop it or get their hands in it some more. So they down it because you don't need them. You don't need nobody's permission.
That's one of the biggest things. What you just said, TC, that's one of the biggest things that I think, the world need to hear what you just said. Because I don't think when they evaluate the young black men of today and the way they shape, I don't think that they're looking at the value of how intelligent the brother is to position himself to make his own money. They just look at the content and
stuff I got you, Bob. Hey, Brian, can you rewind comments?
Which one? That one?
Dude right here, who is this? Lamar Williams. I want to talk about this comment to these type of people I want to talk to. No disrespect, brother, but I'm going to talk to you. They say, we do not live movies, though. Hip-hop is still our voice and still influential. It is poison right now. Man, listen, Lamar, if you welcome to chime in, no disrespect, but I want to come talk. I want to talk to you personally because you sound crazy, and I want you to validate, make it sound better to me. What you mean on them movies, dog?
I want to partner with me on live movies. Don't act like you ain't on movies. You ain't never seen no movie that influence you to make you wanna. You ain't never. So I want him to come talk. I want him to break down that top rope. Type into it. If he can, tell him how he can get in, Brian. Cause he let that brother. I want him to be able to express himself a little bit better than that little text. Cause I love to talk to him. That mindset. I want to talk to that dude. I see rap is coach. We understand that, but a lot of stuff is our culture, brother. Friday, the movie, is our culture. Let's be real for a minute. It ain't just rap. But see, it make it our culture when they part of that stuff. It is come from us. But let's separate it. Let's separate it, man, because I feel rap is getting beat up. Like rap now is poison. Man, how old are you, Lamar? Let's keep it 100. We older. I'm in my 40s. This is not our era no more. This is not our era. They ain't making music for me. They not making music for Bob and Brian no more. These young cats making music for the 20-year-old. And the 24s, the 25s. This is their era. Now we can look back as adults and sit down and say, man, listen, all they talking about is this and this and this. But then turn around. I don't know what you listened to when you grew up, Lamar. I grew up listening to Too Short, NWA. My mamas and uncles were saying that ain't no real music. You look what they talking about. Shoot me, daughter. She swallowed it. Just don't bite it. I'd rather fuck you. Look what they talking about. But we was loving it. Now we get older. Even though I know what these little cats talking about. But this is their era. So our parents have been wrong for trying to make us not listen to NWA. Would they been wrong? I mean, they supposed to say no.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah, they should have.
Wow.
Yeah, they should have.
Break it down, why?
Because everything isn't for everyone. It's okay for an 18-year-old to listen to NWA. The same way it's okay for an 18-year-old to listen to pornography or to watch pornography. It's not good for a 12, 13-year-old because you're at 12, 13 years old, your mind is still developing. You don't understand that what they're saying is to get $1, not to help you understand. If you a kid, you shouldn't be looking at adult things. And what Ramon was speaking about is not that everything in the history or everything in current rap is terrible. What they're pumping to our youth is terrible. As you stated earlier, we listened to rappers that had anti-drug songs. Now, and of course, it was rappers talking about smoking weed and drinking back then, but they were not on the radio in our kids' face. You had to go. As a matter of fact, Luther Campbell went to jail, and that's when they put that parental discretion advised sticker on the music. So if they gonna put that up there, don't lower the standards so my kids can see it. It's for adults. It's adult entertainment. Don't put ass, titties, drugs on TV every day and the radio every day so my kids can hear it. Rap isn't, and to your point, rap isn't trash. What they're programming our young people with is trash. They're poisoning their minds.
Where is all this energy from our brothers that say about the rap, what they putting out, and the kids should watch it? And where the same energy what they putting out on TV?
I'm sure people do complain about what's on TV. I'm sure if we did a show on TV, Ramon would say the same thing.
His name Lamar.
I know him personally. He DJ Ramon.
Okay. The point I'm making is, I ain't saying he won't say the same thing. I'm just saying the problem right here.
It is a problem. You see people talking about homosexuality all the time on TV. You see people talk about sexuality in general on TV. It's the same complaint. What I think it hits. As I was saying, it is attacked the same. If you go to Facebook right now, you see me attacking Kid Cudi clown ass for having a dress on last night. Me personally. The whole world is upset right now. It's one of the biggest topics in the world right now. Why is this 37-year-old man on TV on Saturday Night Live in a fucking dress. People are talking about it worldwide.
She said Saturday Night Live.
He was on Saturday Night Live last night in a sundress, performing his rap songs. Yes, people are upset about it.
But why?
Because a man shouldn't have his 37-year-old ass on TV representing in a damn dress.
See, this I'm going to, I said why for this reason. I want to hear you out. Why is people mad for that when this is what everybody talk about? Be yourself. That's what they say, right?
No, but there, to your point, there are people pushing back against that, pushing back against illicit rap. They're pushing back against illicit television. They're pushing back. There's a group of people saying A, and there's also a group of people saying B. As Ramal just said.
This is the point I'm making, man. This is the point I'm making. I seen on worldwide news TV ban rap. Stop rap.
And if you
saying this, I'm seeing people saying it's disgusting. Forget this rap music. I'm waiting to hear. I'm just saying me. I haven't seen the masses say we gotta ban this TV station. We gotta ban that show. I don't see the same figure in there. I ain't sending you, and I ain't sending your time feed on certain posts on social media because that's everybody's independent way to get their feelings across. I'm saying I ain't gotta talk to social media to hear them say they gotta stop rapping. The effect is having on the youth in the neighborhoods. I ain't gotta go on no news feed to hear that, but I gotta go on the news feed to hear them talk about the TV shows and the effect it's had. I don't see the same figure.
So you didn't see the entire damn world acting a fool last week about Nas X having the devil giving the devil a lap dance and talking about going to hell. You didn't see that last week on the news? Because I saw it on CNN, MSNBC, Fox. I saw it everywhere.
I saw more mad about the blood in the shoes than the video. But I'm just saying, I heard more people mad about what I was seeing on TV. It was more about because Nike had to get themselves out to cover their butt and sue them for them shoes. I heard the biggest thing I was hearing about was the blood in the bubble.
I saw Karen Hunter's show. I saw Roland Martin's show. I saw Lamont King's show. I saw Corey Holcomb's show. I saw Zoe's show. I saw MSNBC. I saw CNN. I saw every network possible tripping on him doing the entire thing. But we can't base it on your individual situation. I'm giving you exactly what you're asking about. You're saying, why isn't people pushing back? And I'm giving you worldwide outlets in which people were pushing back. Because you didn't see it does not make it any less valid.
You're not going to take an example. I'm talking about rap music. You're talking about one dude who made a video. Let's be real now. You're talking about a dude with a video and somebody doing. You talking about.
That's called an example, brother. That's an example. That's an example of people pushing back. That's an example.
That's what I'm saying. I hear you. That's not a debate. But what you're not hearing, the point that I'm making is this. I don't hear them saying ban TV. I don't hear them saying ban ABC. They saying ban rap. They're not saying ban. They're not picking out and letting other people slide. They say they're banning rap. I'm not saying that I'm talking about an instance when this dude fucked the devil and wearing bloody shoes. I'm not talking about an instance when this dude wore a dress on Saturday Night Live. They mad at that. They not saying get Saturday Night Live on TV.
So you don't think people so is it safe to say those very same people that are complaining about what you're saying complaining about aren't complaining about that tonight, this morning?
I haven't.
So is it safe to assume, can a reasonable mind infer the very same people that are upset at the violence in hip hop music and the objectifying of women in hip hop music, they would be upset at this as well.
But see, first of all, hip hop music, to me, that sounds crazy because I don't know no brothers talk about women in hip hop music. Every time they talk about a woman, it's still mama. I love my woman. They talking about women ain't females. They need females are all. Okay, all females ain't women. We need to separate that right now on this show. Cause you talk about rappers talking about women. No, they not. They talking about hoes, sluts, bust downs, real types of females that they really encounter. It's some females that'll set you up, get with you, get you in a hotel, and let some dudes come rob you. They not talking, ain't no woman that does that. Them trifling ass females. So rappers not talking about these women out here. Let's just separate that. All females ain't women, all males ain't men. So I don't understand how they attack rap like they get this trick out of women. No, they not. They talk about that hoe that sucked his boy dick, sucked the old boy dick down there, mess with old boy because of money. They talk about that type of female. They are not talking about women. They talk about type of female. And I feel that's supposed to be separated because they throw that on rap music like these brothers. When you hear any song, they talk about a woman. Jay-Z broke the song down. I love my shit. Separate bitches from women. A bitch gonna be this. A woman gonna do this. They separate that. But it's still known that their lyrics are picking women. Like it ain't like you don't know his hoes out here. All women ain't no females ain't women. So they like rappers out here just dogging. They talk about my mama. No, they not. My mama ain't never in no club out here jumping on this nigga car or this nigga car. They talk about a certain type of female. And them females exist in this world.
Yeah, but check this out though. The question is, well, it's not really a question. It's you saying what's real. That's real. What you're saying. I mean, that is not a question. I think the question is, as men, do we have, no matter if you rapping, entertaining, what are you doing? Like, do we have a responsibility? Period. I think that's what it comes down to. Or what type of responsibility do we even have, or should we even be looking at these people as the type of people that got some type of responsibility for what levels of influence they ascend to? I think that's more of the question because I think
that's a little lighter, Bob. What the one these two rappers your little son listen to say they 14, 15, right? And he tell them his hoes out here, you gotta watch these. You know what I'm saying? He rapping the artist is rapping like that, right? And then your son see a female just fixing that. That's important to have that lesson. Now, we don't want to look at it like that, but it's some stuff that bogus males have done to women. And they'll make the songs, you better watch this type of dude, you better watch this, you don't want no scrub, you don't want this. I don't get offended because I'm a man. It is some males out here that scrub. It is. It is some males out here that's like that. It is. But when it comes to women, it's not. All women are women. No.
all females, right?
Right, all female. They like, it's all. You can't talk to a woman like that. Where the woman at? I see a little slut over here. This female, a little wild, little broad, I'm finna check her. Because a woman will put you in a position that you have to talk to her like that. A woman not gonna treat you a certain way. A woman gonna care herself as a woman. And I've seen all these rappers respect women. That's all I'm saying. I ain't never seen them come out talking about certain stuff about certain women. Now you know a certain type of females out here. And I never understood how we gonna pretend like that don't exist. Oh man, he said this man, my woman ain't no. He ain't talking about that.
So allow that to be a segue. Allow that to be a segue, TC. I ain't mean to cut you off, but allow that to be a segue. I think you put a lot out there already. You put a lot of stuff out there for people to chew on already. Allow that to be a segue into Deshaun Watson. Since you had the mic, I'm gonna give you the mic right back. Set up the atmosphere, the conversation with Deshaun Watson. Since you're bringing up the female and woman.
Put Deshaun Watson in this category. We all used to like. I used to like Shannon Sharp before he was with. He was Shannon Sharp. He was cold. We remember his scandal. Y'all remember how they did Shannon Sharp? And they were blind. See? So, when it's all said and done, my opinion's never gonna change. My stance don't change until he come out here wrong. And I don't care if he come out here wrong. I ain't do nothing wrong, he did. I still feel the same way. I don't believe it.
she felt scared and nervous, felt like she gotta do now whatever he say. So she went on in the room and just did whatever happened in the room. Because when he was laying on the table, automatically she felt nervous and scared, like she gotta do whatever he wants. I'm saying it right now. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'ma say it. Get mad at me. I'm not. Women, you can always accuse the victim. You can't be victim shaming. Man, listen. Listen here, man. Call it what you want. I don't believe her. Flat out. That's why I believe what I believe. I don't believe that statement. And the other lady came out. You see her tearful statement. You hear what she was saying, though? Forget the tears and the dramatic. She said, whatever went on with him, she only did it because she knew he was a superstar. And she felt if she didn't do whatever she had to do, it would mess up her career. So she was put in a situation. Wait a minute. Nah, Bob. No. Not him. You know where all this came out. He finna leave Houston. All of a sudden, he wasn't coming. So they gonna make sure they get their money. He finna be on the exempt list. They gonna be able to take some money back from him. They investigated in that. You know, he gonna get it. They gonna get him. But I don't believe the story. I can't wait till the rest of the facts come out because now they named them two names. Now the lawyer can do his due diligence. So they're gonna respond to this. I want to see their response. I want to see that they come back to what Deshaun Watson lawyers come respond to them. And I want to see where it breaks down. But right now, my stuff ain't changed. I don't care. They come out with 75 of them. My standard, yeah.
It's some stories that you would listen to that would make you, lean a certain way. Be like, man, dude should have been doing that old bold stuff. With none of the details, none of the examples in the Deshaun Watson case feel that way. Like through the years, just don't give Mike Tyson the right to rape a woman because that's not what I'm suggesting. But at the end of the day,
I'll be right back. Keep talking. I can hear y'all. I'll be right back.
The girl who ended up, going up to the room. Like, I mean, we got to really think about why was you going up there too? Like, just because he went up there 2 o'clock in the morning, don't mean, what I'm saying? Like, it do mean something. It means something. You going up there too. It means something. It means your motive was on something. Because this
The fact show does happen. What did she say happened in the Tyson case? He gave oral sex. He hit out.
Oral sex, he hit out.
So she came to the young lady, but that don't mean she trying to have sex. She let him eat out. That means she ain't good at sex, though. That whatever happens after she got ate out, I guess when the rape came.
Right.
Okay? I'm not saying he didn't do it. He's strong. She might realize, I don't want to do it no more. And he said, no, how they want to turn it? But you cannot tell me your intent, bro. I mean, come on, man. That don't mean she wanted to do nothing. Well, I guess she got up there. Mike Tyson was so sexy, irresistible. She didn't say he pat her down and raped her and ate her out. She didn't say that. She said, hey, he performed more sex on her. She said it. So, I don't understand.
No, I was just saying, the point I was making with bringing that up is also in some details, like Mike Tyson, I say even in his case, just like Deshaun Watson, I didn't hear, like some people would disagree with me, but I didn't hear rape in Mike Tyson case. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear rape. That ain't what I heard. But, some people would disagree with me with like, yeah, no means no. Like, so I don't, no does mean no. But, women got to be real conscious and careful. You know what I'm saying? You can't, I'm going up there, let my legs open, let them eat me out. No. You're like, that's doing something different. That's doing something different. That's all I'm saying. And somebody got to say that to women. Like, that's doing something a little different. You know what I mean? Like, what you mean it's doing something different? No mean no. Cut it off. Like, quit playing with people like that. You're not supposed to play like that. And I think that when you talk about the difference when you make it about females and women, you know what I'm saying? Women know the difference, make it matter. Do something, women know the difference. Some of these females out here be playing games. And I think as men, we don't have to apologize. We ain't do nothing wrong. We just talking about it. We just keeping it 100. you're in positions like Deshaun Watson, Mike Tyson, and stuff like that, the level in which women gonna be playing games with them to be in their presence, just off the perception that they're gonna get some crumb off the table from their influence, is so real, and they walk through life. And we got situations like Deshaun Watson and Mike Tyson or whoever else is plugged in these situations, and they got countless numbers. You talking about, we can't even imagine probably coming back from a game at the hotel room, you got 500 women trying to get to your room, and they'll do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? I watched Gold Digger videos alone, and Gold Digger videos on Facebook. You know, dude, she clowning dude, like, get out of here, bum. Look at your hair. I ain't interested. Dude go walk to his car. That's your car? That's off that. That's just off that.
That's stage, though. That's stage.
Huh?
That's stage, but, you know, I feel you. It's stage, though.
Okay.
Well, it's like, wow, let's be real for a minute now.
Okay, let me finish my point, though, T. Because my point is that, like, we know what Will Chamberlain talking about ain't stage. We know he's we know what Snoopy. I done seen videos when, you know, girls trying to, you know, be in the presence of what influence will do, right? So we just talking about, because we keeping it on the theme of responsibility of entertainment. So I don't want to get off that thing like we talking about something that ain't connected to something.
Right? It's the same thing, but it's like to me, it's like what they doing and what they have done, and I refuse to accept it. I know when my mama had a baby shower, you couldn't bring pink for the boy. It was pink for the girl, blue for the boy. Now I'm older, and pink is for the boy. Well, we know better. We was taught different. We was taught to pull our pants up. Now is whatever. Okay, whatever. We saw Tupac go to jail for rape, and we saw the details in the case. Wasn't rape. But he was locked up for rape. We saw this happen. We saw some dudes do women wrong and they be right there. And they go to jail, they deserve it. We actually saw old girl Lyle Shannon Sharp saying all this stuff on him, the statements and everything. He fought it. He didn't give her nothing like Deshaun Watson did. But come to find out, he still got in trouble. So I have seen this in like real life and how I feel. And this comes off as the same thing I done seen before. And I done seen some brothers really do it. And you can see it. Mr. Wayne fight his rape charge the first time. Let's be real. I best go on the girls like Tim. But he did that.
Yeah, he did.
So I wasn't like, no, you're a black man. I heard the story. I'm like, oh, God damn, man. Let's like, so you damn, dude. I didn't get that feeling when I heard Deshaun Watson. It put me in a Tupac mindset, and I seen that happen in real life. I seen the Tyson in real life. I seen the Shannon Sharp in real life. So this leaning toward this feel like to me. That's why my stance is there. That's all. We seen this happen in real life. We supposed to forget it? We supposed to forget it? No, I'm not gonna forget it because there's a lot of stuff that's true, and it's been proven to be true. And them brothers don't get no. Hey, whatever come down the pipeline when you get caught doing that, you deserve it.
But okay, like you said, though, like, so we gonna zoom in on Deshaun Watson, like this.
Right.
It don't mean that he did nothing inappropriate, but I guess, you know, they capitalize off of his obvious appetite for whatever, you know, this.
They was banging them women, man. Keep it 100. Masseuse on internet. Man, that man, Bob. He really finna put in the media that these women were really licensed masseuses. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is what I don't like no more. Now, these women, to me, they not. These females, these conniving, scheming
said earlier, man, we in a society of clout chasers. And it's everywhere. You know, you don't know when you're going to fire this over your head. I know Brian want to get in there. Let Brian jump in there, man. Hey, come Brian with me, man. Drunk his water and everything. Brian been ready to talk about. Come back and tear us up, man. Come on, Brian.
So, I mean, I haven't paid any attention to the Deshaun Watson thing. I said how I felt. The brother, and I said how I felt a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, after that, it was just like whatever. I haven't even seen the women on TV. I haven't seen any of the people that's talking about this. It is what it is. I mean, you know, I just hope the brother don't lose his. Well, I don't think he's gonna lose his career. It looks like a smear campaign. It looks as if Deshaun was in a situation to whereas he felt that these people were not being as honest as humanly possible with him. He said, "Get me the hell out of here." And now it looks as if on the surface, it looks like what's happening with Deshaun is this: "Oh, you don't want to be here anymore?" Somebody approached them with a bogus accusation in the past, and they said, "Well, you know what? We covered this up a few years ago because we knew it was BS. And since you're not doing what we want you to do, what we will do is, at the end of the day, what we will do is run your name, shoot your name through the grease, and you'll have to deal with it. You're going to suffer the consequences of not doing exactly what we said. And we'll find out in a few months what's going on, and that's it. I don't do a whole lot of scuttlebutt media because it's not productive. I just deal with the shit that come to my way. If it affects me, then yeah, you know, he seems to be a good brother. I've been a fan of his since he transitioned from taking Taj Boyd's spot at Clemson. Been a fan since then. Watched him blow out his knee. Watched him come back. The whole nine. I've been a Deshaun Watson fan. I was a Deshaun Watson fan before he was in the league. So we run into these situations time and time again. I remember when Shannon Sharp, the lady was in the elevator with Shannon Sharp and said he had some inappropriate behavior with her. He fought it tooth and nail. It cost him his job at CBS. Yada, 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 yada. But it just, man, I mean, this to me goes back to what I consistently preach on a regular basis. Up until and including the moment we start handling our own business and do our own thing, people are going to continue to be like this. We continue to rock with people because they say we're supposed to rock with them and all this and all that. And we don't. We know we need to do this and we need to do that. Barry Bonds, Manny Ramirez, and a few other athletes said, you can have your commercials. You can have your fame. I'm better than everybody at this. I'm finna get as much money out of Major League Baseball as I can. And y'all can keep y'all fame. And until these young men start to realize that's the game you need to be playing, they're going to continue to suffer the consequences. Period.
Hey, Paul Pierce. What you saying?
See, to me, that Paul Pierce thing is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. Because you don't put your personal business in the street like that, knowing you live in a world of scrutiny. Again, Barry Bonds had several things going on in his personal life that I'm not going to mention because Barry Bonds ain't wrote a book and told everybody. It was well known. But that was Barry Bonds' business. And we've heard rumors about people wrote books about Michael Jordan and his personal business. But again, I don't care what y'all saying about Michael Jordan because that's Michael Jordan's business. But for you to put your business in the street like that, knowing that it's going to cost you money and not just ESPN money, it's going to cost you other money. Because, Paul, the reason you're on TV is to make money. You putting your image out there. You're trying to be the ESPN version of Charles Barkley. That's your goal, to capitalize on what they have to offer. And if that's your goal, don't kick yourself in the ass because as Bob brought up competition. Bob has been saying this isn't about race for the last 3 weeks. Bob has been saying it isn't about race. It's about the obtaining of property and resources. He's limiting his own resources now because there are industries that won't give him that $2, $3, $4 million because he put himself out there with his personal business out there. I don't care if you smoke weed and have bras in your face all day, but the people who you want to do business with, you're going to come up short now. They're looking for a reason to not allow you to capitalize on your excellent NBA career and your excellent image, and you destroyed it. So do what you want to do, Paul. But me personally, if that was my goal, I wouldn't do that. That's just me, though. He can do what he want to do. Because last time I checked, Paul Pierce is a grown man.
5 minutes, TC. I was just waiting on saying, I heard your opinion if that was his goal. But what if his goal wasn't not to be on there no more? What if his goal, he found another way to stream himself to make money, then he ain't got to keep up that kissing LeBron butt and being pretty correct on that old NBA show, that show they have him on ABC and ESPN. So what if that wasn't his goal?
Then just walk your ass off. Then just walk your ass off TV and say it's been real.
I agree with that, B. I agree with that, B. I admit, when you tell, I'm the immature one at the group. I'm the younger one, you know. I loved it. 100%. I love it. I like Paul just even more. You know why? I love when somebody understands the game. I already got over damn near 100-something million, 80-something million off this shit. I already got it. So if I decide, it's different if somebody in his group put the shit out there and he didn't know, and then they realized what he was doing and he lost his job. Then that's kind of different to me. But if for him himself to be holding the camera up with his own hand as a man, he made a decision. Okay. He didn't do with ESPN. He made a decision. And what he said out of his mouth was, I got something big and better coming. Why? Look at the streams. Look at Steven Jackson's show with Matt Barnes. You see they took Steven Jackson off TV. You ain't noticed? Well, y'all probably watch it. Steven Jackson, he was not in the circle. He always say, Kobe better than LeBron. LeBron should do this. And he was not in tune with what they doing. Okay. They making good money on their show. Paul Pierce hooking up with somebody so he can really be the truth. Because every time he went against LeBron, he got kickback. If he said anything in the media that what he felt, it was kickback. So what if he decides, I'm gone anyway? He's supposed to be nice. I ain't gonna lie. If also I woke up being in tomorrow, I don't think I'm gonna get my job on 2-week notice and handle it professionally when I leave. I don't think I am. I ain't gonna lie. I'm done. If I get it tomorrow, I'm not going back.
But that actually goes, I don't know, that goes to your point, though, about why you in agreement with Paul Pierce, because he did that. He didn't do it. He did it exactly the way you think about it. If I was getting $2 million, I ain't gonna have no integrity about me. You know, I ain't gonna do that.
No. You see, that's the difference. I'm glad you made the point. So you feeling he don't have integrity because what somebody else think?
No, yeah. I mean, somebody else who has the concept of respect, respecting. Yeah, but because when you
all this shit? Why you respect him?
You want me to answer? You want me to answer? I think he's a dumbass because why limit your opportunities at this point? Because guess what? You don't have to give a 2-week notice to do anything. You know what, ESPN? I'm out. It's been great. 2 fingers, 1 word. And you done. To put yourself out there, there are other companies that are out there that won't do business with him now because at some point Paul Pierce can show up somewhere and people will give him boatloads of money because he has this pristine image. And being on TV gives you that. So instead of just completely obliterating all your opportunities, you burned a shitload of bridges to prove a point. I got $80 million, but the goal is to have $180 million, and then and then $280 million, then $500 million, then $750 million, then $1 billion, and so forth and so on.
What if that's not his
280 million, then 580 million. Well, that's not his goal.
I've never seen anybody who lives in a capitalistic society who's on TV to make money, not their goal not to be to make money.
So you just saw one who said, fuck that, forget it. He said,
hey man, Paul Pierce ain't my friend. He ain't my brother. He ain't my man. He ain't nothing. So Paul Pierce could have literally pulled his ass all the way out on TV and wiped it across the screen. And that has zero effect on me. But if you're asking me my opinion on what he did, I think he did some stupid shit.
And that's okay. I'm in agreement. I just wanted to say my little point. All right, we got about 4 minutes to the show. So I just wanted to say,
30 minutes now?
yeah, what was it? Was it?
We did. I ain't know how
Long road is 2 hours. Long road until we can't do it.
gotta go. Let us know.
Oh no, okay. But anyway, check this out though. My only point is this: is that I agree with HRap in this sense that you never want to cut your opportunity out because we started this whole thing talking about entertainment and impact of it, emulating the market and everything else. I'm speaking from black men, right? And it's like, it's one thing to do what you're going to do, but when you sit down, and the reason why I made this comment right here, I say, yeah, you got an obligation. You come in and you interview, and they sit you down and they interview you, yeah, you might be the truth, you might be whoever you are to interview you. You give off all this integrity talk. I swear, I'm going to be this type of way. I'm this type of cat. You give all this integrity talk. You got to follow that through all the way to the end, man, to me. That's what integrity is. You right, rap right by saying he ain't got to give it to you. No, so are you. See, both of y'all right in essence. Nah, we know we don't. But if you want to always maintain the integrity you started with, came in promising stuff during the interview. And that's coming from me in something simple as management. I'm like President Obama as a community organizer. You know what I mean? I'm in management, so I need that from you. I need all the false promises you gave me at the beginning. Follow that through, man. And see, there's a benefit to you following through because even if we do part ways, I'm still mindful of you throw the shoe. Hey, man, just come on, man. He left as a good guy, man. That word of mouth thing in this society goes a long way to me. We can't afford to say, F it. But, we can't afford to say F it because we always got to realize, man, that there's other people looking at us. And I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about our own people are looking at us. Our own men are looking at us. And if we don't never take that responsibility that our own men and our young men and young ladies are looking at us, how we conduct business, and the impact that has, yeah, we're doing some dumbass shit. That's real. That's real to me.
I respect that. I respect both y'all saying. That's cool.
That's real to me.
I don't agree with it, but I respect the speeches and what y'all saying because when it's all said and done, y'all losing one element, and to me, this is the biggest thing that be going like for real. And like, why this? Okay, we can have an opinion on what he do. Dumbass decision, me, I respect it, ain't nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to what I see in what Paul did is obvious different what y'all take. I felt like this man knew. First of all, it like he came in there shooting and acting wild. The man sitting there at the party smoking and had a stripper behind him. So that's what he was doing. He shot the video. I take it like this. He knew what ESPN did like that, but then I watched when he be on that show. I bet you he didn't know they was gonna make him happy. He couldn't say certain stuff like he couldn't have his Stephen Nagle feel. I bet he didn't know he had to sit back and be watered down as they made him. I bet he didn't realize how scripted that show was that was holding him back for saying how he really feel. I bet he didn't realize that in the beginning, but when he realized this stuff, this ain't even real up there. What if he realized that? So if he say I'm walking away from it, why you gotta worry about coming back to it?
So
You don't even like
So what about all that right way to do things nonsense he talked when he dissed LeBron James?
That's the right way.
Right, I'm saying. What about all that bullshit he talked to LeBron James about the right? See, he don't do it the right way, and I'm gonna need you to listen to what I'm saying.
I'm listening, Jack. I can hear.
What about all that nonsense he says when he talks about it's a right and a wrong way to do it, and LeBron didn't do it the right way. He took the shortcut. It's a way to do. These are Paul Pierce words. So why didn't he follow that exact same example?
Okay, if we can see. That's why I love. That's why I love this kind of. We can see the other way, right? He did what he wanted to do his way, right? The same way LeBron did he wanted to do.
So why did he criticize LeBron for doing it then?
Because he played basketball too. And when LeBron did affected them basketball. That's about basketball. This is not about different.
That ain't the same thing you just said though. I mean, not just you. It's not that's not the same concept. If you want to do it your way, you can't criticize somebody else from doing it their way.
Thank you.
You cannot make a basketball. So you talking about basketball now?
No, that was LeBron's life. That was LeBron's job.
Wow.
That's LeBron. Basketball is LeBron's job.
That's different.
No, it's not. That's LeBron's life and LeBron's job.
Okay.
Well, so I'm just trying to hear what your point is. I mean, that's all.
I'll tell y'all one, and we can make it real simple. We switch it up. We ain't keep talking about this. He ain't did a motherfucking thing. I mean, I'm sorry, he ain't do nothing wrong in my opinion.
Okay. Where you at?
He's supposed to do it the nice way, or not nice way.
I never said the nice way. I'm listening to Paul Pierce. I'm listening to Paul Pierce for the last 3 years tell LeBron James he's less than because he didn't go through the rigors of losing and having horrible teammates and then having a team built around him and then win. He's less than a star. He's not equivalent. He's not on this level. So LeBron James at the end of the day said, you know what? Cleveland is not going to get me where I want to be. This is not where I want to be. You know, I'm not going to call the owner. I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. Paul Pierce said, you know what? According to you, Paul Pierce said, you know what? This ESPN thing ain't what I thought it was. I'm out of here. And said on his terms he left. How can he criticize somebody and he turned around and did exactly what he was criticizing somebody for? LeBron did it his way. Paul did it his way. It should have never been no criticism.
Okay. First, my response is, when LeBron did that, did you say...
It has nothing to do with me. I'm talking about Paul Pierce. It had no. This portion of the conversation has nothing to do with what I thought. I'm talking about a dude who was critical of somebody for doing what they wanted to do and turned around and did what he wanted to do. No. I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about Paul Pierce. I'm not talking about how the world saw it.
Let's keep it on perspective. Now, okay, just based off of what I'm listening to.
I heard what he said. Hold on, Bob. I heard what he said. Let's get to the point of what I'm saying. I asked him one simple question. When LeBron made the decision to go to Miami, what did you feel about it?
I ain't think nothing about it. That's his man. That's his job.
So if nothing, he did it his way. Now, Paul Pierce did it his way. His dumbass.
Okay. The difference is I never stood up and said, you know what, LeBron James, you're wrong. You shouldn't have did it that way. You're less than a man because you didn't do it the way HRap would do it. If you want me to finish, you want to keep interrupting me so you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Like I said.
One at a time, because I can't hear both of y'all at one time. I want everybody to get to their point.
All right, whatever, man. Go ahead. He speaks. I understand how he feels. Now he's still talking about.
It's just you can't say whatever. Stop talking again. Say your point. You can't say whatever.
Bob, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
we talking about? Like, what are we talking about?
So nothing. We ain't talking about nothing. Nothing. Leave that shit alone. For real, because this shit crazy.
I have no idea what we talk about Paul Pierce. That's all we talking about. We talking about the difference in opinion we have. If Paul Pierce did something, how we felt about it. You stated your opinion, we both stated our opinion. I think that's all we was talking about. I don't even think we was talking about nothing deep.
Okay, so we must went upstairs or you must went to sleep because after you had an opinion, I asked why you asked that. So it went to another conversation. That's why then when Brian responded to me, I want to know when he said how he felt when Paul Pierce said when LeBron left, LeBron was this. Okay, I asked Brian how did he feel? He came back after that and started talking again about what Paul Pierce said about LeBron leaving. I'm asking you, what did you feel? He said he had no feeling about it. So I said, why? When Paul did what he wanted to do, you did.
And if you would allow me to finish the sentence, had you allowed me to finish my thought, you would know what I felt. You would know why. But every time I get like 6 words into my conversation, my statement, you interrupt me.
I think it was 9.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Let him finish this point so we can get to the next point. So we can
Get to, like you said, get to the next point.
yeah. So, well, I mean, I guess we put a display on about, how I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's competition. I don't know if it's misinterpretation. I don't know what this is. This moment is. I don't even know what this moment is. Tell me what this moment is. We can't.
It's a problem in our world. This moment is nothing. This moment is nothing.
All right. So what is the moment? Like the moment. Okay. The point is. Okay. I'm gonna get to the next point. The next point is this. The next point is I want to talk about Kirk Franklin. I want to talk about the fact. Well, okay, let me finish what I was going to say. I want to talk about Kirk Franklin in this sense because I think it ties into the last point we was making. Now, we look at Kirk Franklin, and we about to give our opinion. We have no stake involved in giving our opinion about Kirk Franklin except how it identifies to us as men. So whenever we're giving our opinion, we just talking about how it identifies us as men and how we hear something, right? So Kirk Franklin, we're going to talk about the situation with this 33-year-old son. And what your opinion is, what my opinion is, and what HRap's opinion is about how we could have handled it, how we would have handled it, how we interpreted what we heard, or whatever. That's all we do. So I want to do that right now. Kirk Franklin ended up, his son ended up recording him, basically snapping on, and they had a relationship that had been at odds for years. And his son recorded him, I guess, in an attempt to show the world that his father snaps like this, regardless of his spiritual image that he carries as Kirk Franklin. So his son had a real emphasis to want to expose his father's temperamental moment. And Kirk Franklin, in my opinion, was saying some stuff, as a parent that, quite frankly, I can identify with as a man. I would be saying probably the same thing, my son, I put my heart into raising my boys, and then if my boys get a certain age, I mean, you never know what my, behind the scenes off-script conversation may sound if I'm trying to, continue my responsibility as a parent to make him understand something, flat out. I ain't slap you upside your head. I'm using words. And you sitting up here with some kind of sensitive stupor. Like you can't handle the same words that I've been giving you for years about why you need to think a certain way, why you need to perform as an individual. Because right now, I can easily look at your life and say, as a father, you're not performing in a self-sufficient way. So I got to give you a verbal lashing right now to try to shake you back in the head. I ain't looking for vision from you, but you want to expose me as a father for my tactics that I might use in order to shake your 33-year-old ass up. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's my take on it. His son did a goofy move, that was goofy because there's a resentment there that I don't know why the resentment is there in that relationship, but there was a resentment there that wanted to knock his father's influence down. In the world, in the real world we live in, he wanted to knock his father's influence down. And he got whatever reasons he got. But as a father, I can easily identify with the fact that he trying to tie a noose around my neck, put some kind of religious title on me and say, well, you know, you can't act this way, you can't act that way. There's certain subjects, man, that I can honestly admit, I am not God, bro. Like, I ain't God. You know better than anybody, I ain't God. Certain things, man, will make me, you know, choke you out. Some things make me choke you out. Whether you know, I don't hit women, but my woman can't hit me in the face. I don't know what I'll do. Don't hit me in my face. You know, while I slap my lips. Wow. I don't know what I do. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't never hit a woman a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me into God. I'm not God. Don't turn me into God. You know, it's a reason why you know, the time to continue to hold it like that, but whatever.
Let's be real for a minute. See, I'm on the son side, so I know I'm gonna get my point across real quick because I don't want my, you know. Man, first of all, what it shows me is this. Kurt Franklin was never a father to that son because I don't know no son that will do that father like that. Now, some dude that wasn't in your life, whatever. Well, I heard those stories that I didn't want to repeat because I'm not finna, I don't want to put nothing saying negative stuff like that about that dude, Kurt Franklin. I have my own opinion of it. But the son said some real foul stuff about his dad. So I don't know if it's true or not. You know what I'm saying? But the little boy said, yeah, them some of the shows saw the playing the music, yeah, that's the man that my father won't molest me. Man, he could be lying or whatever, but the little boy said that. But it is some truth, not about the molesting part. The boy could have been talking. But it is some physical proof that they wasn't raised together. So I'm not gonna come on as a father that's gonna look at that like that because I know if you do get to this situation with Lil Rob, you ain't gonna have to go there with Lil Rob because you've been the father of Lil Rob's life. So the way Rob look at you, he's not gonna want to do you like that. Now, whatever kind of man you was to him in his life, evidently it wasn't what it was because he wanted to put you out here like this. He wanted to try to embarrass you. He wanted to try to make your social character. And whatever he did, he had a purpose for it. So I'm looking at it like, yeah, why was son going to a father? Then you look and see it's a strange son, you know. They had a strange relationship all his life. Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. You want that for your kid. And then when you hear Kurt Franklin response, what did he say? Yeah, you know, we had a strained relationship. Come on, man, you know what you saying? You wasn't there. You wasn't there. So this ain't no son disrespecting his father. This is a dude respecting a neglected dude that he felt never did his part for him. See, Kurt Franklin don't get no pass because you curse. I don't even care about the church dude cursing your son out. You got a right to talk to a son like that if you was a father to him. But nigga, you ain't even been in that man's life right. You said yourself you're estranged son. I tried to admit to him, he don't listen. I know what that means because my son listen to me. I bet you can listen to Lil Rob, listen to you. I bet you Justin listen to you. You need to talk to him. What that mean? You wasn't there, dude. So this what it is. So I say whatever. To me, my opinion of it is, I don't call that his son disrespecting a father. No, I don't. No, I don't. Just because you make a baby don't make you a father. Okay? He wasn't a father to that boy, so it makes sense why that boy don't care what he do to him. He don't care how it affects his image. He don't care about none of that because that boy,
but the little punk can't be eating off my plate either. Little punk, you feel that way, be the way you feel.
oh, so let you go everything all his life. I'm just gonna go on. You want to do that all his life. You ain't got to play. You terrible dad, dude. You terrible, dude.
All I'm saying, you can feel that way.
saying this. I'm gonna go this far. Even if I was a deadbeat, it's a limit, Joe. Like it's a limit to my manhood. I'm not nothing for Kurt Franklin. It's mine. I part of the reason I ain't think you was mine, dude. Whatever reason he had, like man, you might not be my son, or I don't like your mama. Whatever reason he gave, I'm saying okay, he was a deadbeat, right? But I'm saying there's a certain time when you look at a man in his face, whether he's your son or not, and this is some dialogue. He kicking his mouth. It ain't going. That's all I'm saying. Like you, that's all I'm saying. I ain't going. Even if I'm dead, I ain't going no more. You had your right. I done tried to. I done put my guilty expressions of money out there towards you. Now you trying to destroy me. You know what I'm saying? That's a little. Like I said earlier, I got why you cussing about snap. Well, I look at it for why he did. We said that. Why was up? It makes sense. Why? It makes sense. That's all I'm saying. It makes sense. Why? I go with that point. I go with that. Go ahead, man.
Well, I'm just gonna go by what the boy's sister said, and I'm gonna go by just listening to the recording. The recording is clearly chopped up. You can see it's two different conversations that they're having. At one point, Kurt Franklin is talking normal. Seconds later, he's screaming at the top of his lungs. And at the beginning of the conversation, you hear a train in the back. In the middle of the conversation, the train is gone and Kurt Franklin is cussing. You can clearly see the boy splice this shit together with technology to make Kurt Franklin look bad. The second part is what his sister said. The boy's sister, who's also Kurt Franklin's daughter. You're just mad because you grew up as a privileged young man and now our father ain't, and you did nothing with it. So this leads me to believe this just a bitch ass dude. He's just a punk ass young man who don't want to take responsibility for his life. Because if Kurt Franklin was so bad, why are you trying to get in contact with Kurt Franklin's new children? Because if I don't know the experience of having a father. My father died 52 years ago in 1 week. So I don't know the experience. But if my mother had a whole nother group of kids after me and my sisters, and she never did right by me, I don't know if I would want to be a part of nothing that my mama got to do. Because at that point, I would view my mother as toxic. And if you view your father as toxic, all I want to know is, if your father's this toxic individual, why are you still trying to be in his life? Why do you and your father have a family therapist? Because even in the argument, Kurt said, let's call a therapist. Let's call a therapist. Why are you in therapy with somebody you want nothing to do with? This dude is mad because he's 32 years old, to me. And it seems that Kurt Franklin told him, hey, you got on your flip-flops, now go kick rocks.
Right. Yeah, well, that's a different interpretation of, therapy. Damn, why I find this out? Wow, you a little wild with therapy? I mean, you know, every situation different. So, punk ass, it reflects on a damn daddy, punk ass. This punk ass dad. You can't blame the kid. He a reflection of what he grew up around. So if he a bitch ass dude, his daddy a bitch ass nigga.
So what about the other child that's cool with Kirk that grew up in the same house as this young man?
I'm saying this, the other child ain't do it. So we can't.
No, I'm just saying, how is the other child fine with Kurt Franklin? I can't see where Kurt Franklin will be outside of this house taking care of one kid and not taking care of the other.
I understand that. I don't know.
I'm just saying that don't add up to me, because if you got two kids in one house, a reasonable person would infer that if you're taking care of one kid, you're taking care of the other. And when the one kid stands up for Kirk, that leads me to believe that the other kid is full of shit.
Okay, so if the other kid full of shit, then there's no real with that. Why is the daddy even saying that was translation shit?
Because they do. Because the one kid is full of shit.
So the daddy grew up with a kid that felt a certain way as he grew up with that. And daddy there, and daddy, they couldn't fix it.
Some people, hey, bro, people have strained relationships with their children all the time. It's not like Kirk Franklin is the first person in the history of the universe to have an issue with an adult child. Why didn't this young man have this issue 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. All I know is if you grew up in the...
You said they had a problem. They was young. They just started. They said they grew up a certain
So why don't the daughter have the same problem with Kirk if Kirk wasn't involved in their lives?
Well, maybe, from what it seems to me, I don't think maybe Kirk treated the daughter better than he treated the boy. I don't know.
That makes sense to you? That I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? You my son. I'm not gonna deal with you, but you my daughter. I got all the love in the world for you.
Come on, man. Let us be real for a minute. You saying you ain't never heard of nobody go favoritism to kids? You ain't never heard of that before.
Yeah, I have.
That's all I'm saying, man. I know that's like it's not. It's just you can't believe that one person or one kid. You ain't never heard that before, man.
I never heard of nobody not living in the house with their two kids and treating their kids differently.
I done heard of I heard a brother talk about she treat this brother better. I done heard that.
Well, in Kirk Franklin's case, he don't sound like somebody like I'm gonna go like piggyback off of the therapy comment. Like when you put therapy out there, there's an effort, regardless of what the reason. There's an effort of agreement, right? So two people coming in with an effort of agreement, like saying, let's call it therapy. So let's call it whatever therapy. So the point when when I'm saying my emphasis, my point of view is like when you record the conversation, when you eliminate the effort that's being placed in the situation, and you the one benefiting more. I don't care how you feel through the years, but right now, off of this relationship as a man, me looking at you as a man, whether you my son or not, you a man now at this point, and I made sure you ain't in poverty through my dog, right? I don't deserve to be recorded by you. Get up off my money. I'm talking about now, regardless of all that other stuff, where we came from at this point, you a man, and you eating off me, like flat out. Like, don't destroy me. Because to me, that make you something else. That don't make you know, okay, oh man, you got demons he need to deal with. I would agree with you. These probably you got some demons. I can't even call it. But sooner or later, man, as a man, Kirk Frank, I would imagine, like, the way Kirk Franklin snapped, he snapped like somebody who paying for his man.
All I know is, if they really had an issue, why are you splicing up different conversations and putting them in front of the world?
I mean, come out. I ain't never said the boy was right. I just understood. My stuff get mistaken. How are you?
You ain't saying right. You said you took his side. That's what you said.
But if Kirk is doing this dude so wrong, why are you fabricating things to make him look bad?
I'm going on the question.
I'm asking you a question. If Kirk is doing this young man so wrong, why are you creating BS to make him look bad? If you don't treat me right, you don't treat me right.
Wait, this is what somebody who feels someone not been there feel some way would do. I get that.
So
I'm saying I was shorty because if you feel this way that your father having whatever, that gonna come with it.
So a lie come with it. Okay.
That will come with it. That's why he taped him illegally. Taped him and cut stuff up. His intent was to make him look a certain way. They're in therapy for a reason.
Again, maybe I'm nuts, but if you tell one lie, if you present a lie to the world that's clearly a lie, it negates everything you said before that and everything you said after. Because if you'd have brought me the truth and said, this is the truth, and then I hear the truth, I can make a sound decision. But if once you start lying, everything you say is null and void. Because if Dolores and Ned Harper would have treated me like shit, all I got to do is get on the phone and I want to expose to the world that this is how my mother been treating me for the last 30 years. Boop, hit the record. You big head motherfucker, that's why you're fat. I hit record. See, world, you see how my mom treats me? Bam. But the moment I say, Dolores has been treating me horribly. And then I take this conversation where she treated me right, and then an argument, and then another lie, and put it all together and make it a lie. That means I'm capable of lying, and more than likely the things that are coming out of my mouth are lies. Therefore, everything that's coming out of my mouth has to be questioned. That's just me. I ain't never seen Kirk Franklin lie.
If you was really a father to your son, I don't think you'd be taking your conversations. I don't think y'all be going to therapy.
So,
I don't think none of that. That's how I feel.
So just like so just like I So just like you were one of the listeners said, people are biased to their kids all the time. People can raise their kids properly, and their kids still turn out to be some non-usable people. So you don't know nobody who had mother and a father who worked their ass off every day, and then they turned out to be hoodlums, gangbangers, thieves, and rapists?
And then sometimes it mess the kids up. Daddy bust his butt, come home, go lay down with mama. Mom make his food, lay down in the room again all day. And don't interact with their kids in the room. And they had a mom and daddy in the house. But mom and daddy was more into each other. I seen that. And I seen them little dudes out there and doing reckless. I have seen that. But that father that take their son someplace and know how to separate relationship with mom and relationship with kids, and both of them, so a lot of fathers work their butt off. They come home, daddy, mom got the food, daddy go lay down, put his foot up, whatever. That's the relationship in the houses I've seen when the kids actually went out. But the father was more like, in tune with that child too. Cause so it's different just father and mama being in the house together. Cause sometimes they don't want, they be in love with each other. So they a lot of times they're in the room. Mom and daddy laying down. Mom and dad, a lot of houses is like that. Too.
Well, I don't know that, but I do know my cousin. And he was treated like a king. And his uncle I used to hang out with his dad, and he's a bum.
He's a bum. Anyway, let's summarize real quick, man. Summarize the plug. Brian, I'm gonna let you go first. HRap. Summarize the plug.
You'll check me out tomorrow night on Ben for BS3 Network. We are doing a wonderful podcast. We'll be doing Concrete Jungles tomorrow with Idris Elba. It's a Netflix film. Please check it out. Tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then you got me Tuesday. Then you got my man DJ Mad Knox Tuesday afternoon. Excuse me. You got Number One Chief Rocker Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You got DJ Mad Knox around 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. You got me at 5 p.m. I have a forum on my show. And then Wednesday, you got DJ Dre. You got Thursday, DJ Mad Knox, Cheers Roundtree, and James Earl for Theory of the Culture. You got Big Illinois that evening playing Smooth Grooves. You got DJ Mad Knox Friday evening. You got DJ Purplicious Saturday at 12. You have me Saturday at 5 p.m. And then again in 168 hours, you will have the Jaw Jackers.
168 hours.
TC, summarize the plug, sir. I want to summarize first to my man Lamont Williams, man. Thanks for your comment. Thank you for taking the comment. I said, and you ain't get all willy and all about it. You responded like, man, I appreciate you, brother. Because all we doing is just talking back and forth. And I might come off a little, whatever they want to call it, aggressive, wrong, rude, I don't care. It's me. Don't be talking to me. We don't talk. I appreciate you, Lamont Williams, and everybody else that commented on this show and see this show. And in a minute and like 28 seconds, man, Brian was talking like, fuck, leave it alone. Ain't nobody, man. We just thought we wasn't going to go there with that. And that's what it was. I got love for B. I got love for Bob. And that's what it is. I know they got love for me. This is who I am. I speak my man. And always they going to hit other people's points. I'm sorry. That's why everybody ain't see that. Because just because we all disagree and everything, you still got love for each other. That's my summary. All these points, I was always down there by myself. And I don't care if I don't agree with you on this, OB don't. He's still my people. So I want that to be out there. And I don't think I want to promote this love yourself, man. Love yourself, love your brother. I'm gonna see you next Sunday.
Right. And you can catch me on Collective Perspective on YouTube. Go to the page. We also got I got a few platforms on Facebook also. Jaw Jacking on Facebook. You can like and subscribe to Jaw Jacking. And also we got a show Man Up on page on Facebook and a Shy Rise page. I mean, all of them, our audience, you plug, go ahead and like them all. And if you like our content, make sure you go to Collective Perspective on YouTube, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and support us in that way. We ain't ask you for no money yet. Anybody ask you for money, we setting you up though. It's coming. But anyway, thanks for listening, man. We really appreciate your voices, your input, and just giving us a minute of your time to check us out, man, because we all some significant voices in the room. I love collaborating with my man, HRap from the end of the bench, and my man, TC, all the way from Chicago down there in Florida. Man, this has been live. Hey, see y'all next Sunday, baby.
Oh, yes, Steve.